All right, we are putting in 2 Maxxair fans up top today, and up here it's very hot, black roof, so I laid down some blankets, but I bought these vent fan adapters. These are clutch. I've installed 3 other Maxxair fans on Sprinter vans before, so this will be my 4th and 5th times doing this. And every time I've used these adapters from DIYvan.com. I'll put a link in the description below for that website, but I highly recommend using that. And so in the van, it's all a mess right now, but basically I took everything out of the box. Make sure you do that, because I've started this project before and found out after cutting a hole in the roof that the fan was damaged and I was screwed basically that time. So I had to put a tarp over the roof until I got my right pieces in. But yeah, make sure everything's good to go. And so yeah, I got my 2 fans, 1, 2. I have this is the inside you know, flange kind of trim piece, and then this is the piece that will sit on the actual roof, and the fan will sit kind of inside there with that rubber gasket facing up, and that's what, you know, helps keep any water out of anything. Over here, well, and also before I go over there, butyl tape you'll need. I ordered this it was like $5 extra on DIY Van, where I ordered those flanges. So, you know, they send you 1 for each vent fan adapter that you buy. So have butyl tape, and then you'll need a sponge brush, or a paintbrush will do. I'll tell you why in a minute. And you'll need, you don't need it, but I would recommend it, some sort of plastic drop cloth to catch a lot of the metal shavings when they start falling inside of the van. Some other tools that you're gonna need: you will need a jigsaw with a metal blade attachment. You'll need, ideally you would have, I've used 3M Marine grade 4200 sealant before, but I'm gonna try this one. I didn't have any of that kind, and this is pretty much the exact same thing. From what I can tell. So I'm going to be using that. I bought that at Home Depot. This is oil-based Rust-Oleum paint. It happens to be black. That's the color of my van. You're going to use that whenever you make the hole. When you cut out the vent hole, you know, you're going to have a lot of metal, bare metal on the edges. So you're going to want to, you know, go over that with some sort of oil-based Rust-Oleum paint so it doesn't rust. You'll need a drill, and also you'll need a step bit. I'll put links to this step bit in the description below. I use this thing all the time. You'll need a set of drill bits, and then you're also going to need, this is crappy, this is the only piece of sandpaper I have left. Forgot to buy that, and this is kind of, I think it's like 200 grit or something, so I don't know. You will need to grind down some pieces of metal. I have that over here. So I bought these. I got these at Home Depot as well, and they are 1 inch. I got 8-foot pieces. It's 1/8 inch thick, and this is going to be used on the top of the vent fan. You're going to cut, I'll show you how to do it. You're going to cut some trim pieces that are going to help support and give it more strength when it's up there on the roof. So we'll get started, and I will kind of explain more as we go. Alright, so the first thing that I do before I get up on the roof and start cutting holes, I want to make sure I have everything prepped and ready so it happens quickly in case it rains or something. It's not supposed to rain, but I don't want to find out the hard way. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is I am taking this flange that comes with the Maxxair Fan, and I am measuring. First I'm going to measure two measurements, this side and this side. Obviously they're going to be the same, and you'll see what I'm talking about here more clearly in just a minute. But this measurement here from the top to right here looks to be about, so I'm going to say 16 and let's just say 16 and a half. Okay, so I'm going to cut two of the metal pieces at 16 and a half. And then we'll come and take our other measurements. But I'm assuming they're gonna be 14 and a half if I had to guess. I've done this before and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But for now we're gonna cut, actually we're gonna cut 4 pieces at 16 and a half because we have 2 Maxxair fans to install today. So 4 pieces at 16 and a half. Alright, so I've got my 4 pieces cut at 16 and a half inches each. And now you'll see kind of what I was saying before. So let's say we're gonna put those on this side. It doesn't matter if you put it on this side or that side, but you have to put them, you know, running parallel to one another. These 2 pieces, 16 and a half each, okay? So we have those there and there. Now, like I said before, I think that measurement is going to be 14 and a half. Just makes sense. So let's see. So we're going to measure from the inside of this one to the inside of this one. And we are getting 14 and a half. So I'm pushing this one a little bit, but it's 14 and a half. So basically, you're going to have these 2 pieces running from the actual end to end, and then the inside 14 and a half inch pieces are going to just stay on the inside of these 2. Once we get done with the cutting four pieces at 14 and a half, then we're going to have all of our metal pieces cut. And what we're going to do then is kind of come back around, and I'm going to draw. See how it's overhanging on this curve? We're going to take a Sharpie, we're going to mark that off, and we're going to cut it as best we can with a jigsaw, and then that's when we're going to use our sander, and we're going to sand it down. If you have a better method of, you know, a grinder that works for metal or whatever you want to do is cool, but I'm using a sander. So anyway, back to cutting. We're going to cut 4 pieces at 14 and a half. Alright, now you can see I have the inside pieces 14 and a half and the outside pieces 16 and a half. And it's all looking good, and like I said before, we're going to, on the other side, you can see it. Here, I'll just knock these pieces off. You can see how that's overhanging. So what we want to do is we want to trace it out with a marker right around that corner onto the metal, and that'll give us a good line to follow, and we'll cut that with our jigsaw, and then we will sand down to get it as perfect as possible. All right, here we go. Alright, I am up on the roof with all of my hippie blankets everywhere here, keeping me from burning myself on this scalding hot black roof in the middle of the afternoon on an 80 to 85 degree day. If you can avoid that, please do yourself a favor and do it inside if you have a big garage to work in. But we're up on the roof, and as you can see, there's this is what I got from DIY Van, and it's a great template. And basically it has these like ribbed, or I don't know what it is, like rounded edges, and these little grooves, if you can see that, cut out, that fit perfectly right in line with the ribs on the roof. And so you want to position this so it slides. You see, it just fits, like you can tell when it's sitting flush on everything, and that's what you want. You want to position it so it sits flush, because what you're going to do is you're going to take your blue painter's tape, tape it down, and then you're going to trace out on the inside with a marker your cutting line. That's what I like to do. And it might be a little hard to see on this roof because it's a black Sharpie with a black roof, but we'll make it work. And once we have that, then we're going to go through with more blue tape, and we're going to tape off the outer edge, because we're going to get our jigsaw up here, and that's what we're going to use to cut out the sheet metal here. And we don't want to scratch the roof with the jigsaw, so we're going to put a nice kind of double layer of painter's tape around the outer edge, and that'll protect the roof from scratches. All right, on this one here, I'm all taped off. I got, you can't really see, but there's a magic marker line that I taped around so I know where to cut. And over here, I'm basically about to do the same exact thing. I just took this magic marker and I went on the inside. Make sure that you go on the inside. If you go on the outside, you're going to have a very, very bad day. And I don't know how to help you with that. But if you go on the inside, you should have a very, very good day. So I want you to have a good day. So make sure, again, inside only when you're tracing this out and making the cut. You want to be able to use this to sit on the outer edge of this hole that you're going to cut, and then on top of this will sit the Maxxair roof flange that we showed earlier, and then on top of that will sit the metal strips that we cut out. And then we'll drill through everything. We'll put a layer of adhesive on the bottom of this this flange right here, so it's really stuck to this roof with both adhesive and screws all around. And then once we have that done, then we'll use the Dicor sealant to seal everything up really good, and we'll drop in the fan. It's not that hard after you have everything cut and everything prepped. It's just kind of putting it together. All right. Okay, so this part, we took the metal pieces that we cut, we clamped them down around the Maxxair fan ring, and this is where you're going to need to ask a partner. I asked my lovely wife, and you're going to clamp them in place, and then, you know, you might think of a smarter way to do this, but my brain, the way I wanted it to happen was, here, just pick it up just a little bit. Yeah, that's good right there. And basically underneath you can see the holes, so I'm going to take this Sharpie and I'm going to go up from underneath, and I'm going to mark every single hole around the whole flange. Alright, moment of truth. I'm on the roof. We're looking at what we're about to cut. We're following the line that we traced out. And we are always hoping for the best. Should be fine. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I dropped the fan in. It's getting dark outside. The sun is setting. But what you need to do is there's a screw there and a screw there on each side, and you simply screw them in, and that's what's going to tighten it into place. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll put another flashlight on it when it's all finished. But basically I put the Dicor sealant on both, and that's doing its thing right now, but we can safely drop it into place and screw it tight. It should be good to go. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow, but I have 2 fans installed. Had to do it in the pitch dark, but the deed is done.